Okay, guys, and a little video of a complete other location. I'm not back home. I'm right now in the very tropical Southeast Asia, Thailand. And well, you've seen my video of the version number 2 of the carbon fiber scooter. And well, of course you cannot take it with you on the airplane, and I found it very pity that I couldn't take it with me. So during my travel here in Thailand, I found it a little bit difficult to get around, so just walking all the time, get sore foot and all that kind of stuff. So I was like thinking like, what should I do? I've got my scooter back home, I should have it here. And I was like feeling like, okay, I want to have one over here too. So I decided to go and have a look on internet and try to find actually local suppliers of these scooters here. And I found one. Actually, there's a couple of them over here. So I could either just do the purchase back on the website of AliExpress, or just buy it locally. The option of AliExpress was not a good option for me, for the simple reason that it actually was very close to Chinese New Year, so I probably would have to wait another 2 or 3 weeks before I got the scooter. And you know, I'm just here for a short time, about a month and a half, and I wanted to get these scooters just as fast as I can, so I can fully use the scooter while I'm staying here in Thailand. So I found 2 suppliers, actually 3 actually, but I took the cheapest one, and it was a little bit of a mistake. So I bought this one in Thai baht, it's 17,500 baht, and I had issues with this particular scooter. So I don't know who is the supplier, who is the manufacturer in China. I know there's a couple of them. But I don't know which is the supplier. It doesn't mention anything on or in the scooter because I had to open it up. So to make things short, don't ask me in the description where did you buy it, blah blah blah, because I won't be able to give you an answer. Or I mean, I can give you an answer where I bought it in Thailand, but I don't recommend it to buy it from this particular place because I had issues with it, and I'll explain you right away which were the issues. But you know, the good thing about having issues, and this is how I think about these things, is it's a learning curve, and it's a very steep learning curve. So actually I had to take the scooter apart, and it will give me the opportunity in the future to actually make videos on how to repair the scooter, which is very interesting as well. So keep tuned on my channel, because there's definitely gonna be a couple of videos coming later about how to repair the scooter. Let me just go back to my Belgian scooter. As you know, I've got the version number 2, the newest version, and right now my current odometer says that I'm around 140 kilometers. This little fella here has driven a lot more because I use it every day, and it is pretty interesting to see and to be able to know how much I drove it and what are the problems. So let me just first of all tell you I bought this in close to Future Park back in Bangkok. I'll put the information in the description. But after about, let's say, maybe 3 days of usage, I was already gone from Bangkok. I started to get some trouble. It was like, you know, going and then slowed down again when I had a pothole, or when the road was not, you know, very flat, and then speed it up again and slow down, speed up again, slow down. Okay, I didn't care too much, so I opened up the top and I found a cable that was actually I would say the insulation was actually gone from the cable, so I put some insulation on there. It drove again normally for a couple of days, and then suddenly it started to do this, you know, slow down and speed up problem again. And then suddenly at the same time, maybe like about a day later, I got the front wheel engine that broke down, and that was, you know, for me it was a very big deception. So yeah, I was looking on internet. There is the biggest company here in Thailand is called Monowheel. If you go and Google it, you will see Monowheel Thailand. So I contacted them and I asked them if they could provide me with a new front wheel. And they could. So I went down to Bangkok and got a new front wheel, and I definitely see a difference between the manufacturers just by switching the wheel, which is pretty interesting. So this front wheel, I would say the rubber that is on the front wheel on the engine is much softer than the other one. So, and I can tell you that the road here in Thailand is not the best road of the world. It's not that like back home. And most of the time, by the way, I'm just driving on the on normal road between the traffic, between the cars. There's a lot of motorcycles over here, motorbikes. There's a lot of people driving other bicycles and stuff like that. So the people are pretty used here in Thailand, not like back in my home country in Belgium, to have other vehicles driving on the on the road, on the conventional road between the cars. So yeah, I got to Monowheel to continue the story, and I bought a new wheel, replaced it, and it really works very, very well. It's very smooth driving, everything. Now the issue about slow and speedy and slowing down again, I took out everything. So I had to take out the carbon tube here, and I took everything apart. And there's like 7 sections of battery packs in here, and I checked everything, and I found out that there was a connection that was not very well soldered. So I soldered it myself. I bought some soldering iron here. I soldered the different sections that were not very well soldered, and it solved the problem. I'm happy with it. It's working perfectly. So finally, I spent like, what is it, 17,500 baht over here for the new scooter, and I had to buy a new front wheel. It was pretty expensive. It was like 7,000 baht. So in total, I spent about 14,000 baht. Now, if you buy the Monowheel scooter, you'll probably spend maybe about the same. So it's going to be 23,000 baht, or 23,500, or 23,900. So it's more or less the same. So yeah, mistake to buy it at the place where I bought it back in Bangkok. But luckily, I found Monowheel. I was able also to talk with the guy who actually runs Monowheel. And they're very professional guys, and they really want to have the best quality on their scooters, so I can certainly recommend it if you're back in Bangkok. And yeah, I don't know, I could have bought it from internet, but it would have taken maybe like 2 or 3 weeks to get here, so I didn't want to wait. Yeah, I was actually willing to pay just a little more, so I could use this scooter and drive around. It's a perfect companion, absolutely perfect companion for anybody who wants to travel around. The only issue is that you cannot take it with you on the airplane, and that's going to be a little bit tricky for me. But I've got some people I know locally here. I'm coming here every year, so they will just take care of it. I can store it there, and I can use it next year, so it's not a big issue for me. But I have made this scooter a little bit more like my scooter. I added a couple of options. I'll show you right away. And right now I've got about 280 kilometers on this one, and it's really working very fine. I'm very happy. I try to avoid potholes though, so what I try to do when there is like a pothole or is first of all slowing down, but sometimes you have no reflex to slow down, especially at night, because you don't have a very far vision. So I just I'm on the scooter and I just jump over the pothole, and it's just to avoid the impact in the wheel, because I think maybe that's the reason why the other one failed. But as I told you, the other wheel was much harder, so it couldn't pick up the shock. On my previous video, and what's the difference, and maybe that's an interesting thing as well, what's the difference between actually the this version over here with the meter over here and the other one is the display, and that's it. And also the front light is different, but I don't really see a difference between, you know, the way it drives, the speed it goes, the autonomy and all that kind of stuff. So it's more or less the same. I would say it's actually 100% the same. It's just the look that's a little bit different. So is it worth going to a version number 2? I honestly don't know. I think version number 2 also has some suspension, but I didn't really notice any difference in the way it behaves with this very small suspension in the front. So maybe it's better for the wheel, maybe it's better for the front wheel, for the motor. So I don't know. I think I will be able to tell you in my future videos, because this is not going to be the last video about these guys here. I'll continue to post and give you my experience as further as we go, and how is the strength of the machine, etc. Now, just to tell you also about how it works inside, it's very easy to open up. I'll make separate videos about it. It uses actually 28 batteries. You can Google it if you want to know how the batteries look like. These are the 18650 batteries. So 18650 battery. If you Google it down, also they told me this is a 10.4 mAh or AH battery pack, and I opened it up, it's 8.8. Okay, so they kind of ripped me off about this, but it's okay. The scooter does have approximately the same the same autonomy as the one back in Belgium. So maybe the one in Belgium is also a 8.8 milliamps per hour, or what is it called? So AH per hour. So maybe it has the same value as far as the battery pack is concerned. I checked these batteries, 650 batteries. There's different, you know, brand names, different versions, and one of the versions, or most of them, they have like 2,800 mAh per battery. So as I told you, there's 28 in there, 7 blocks of 4. So every block in here has 4 of these cells, you know, stacked together or in parallel, and then 4 over here, 4 over here, 4, so 7 times, and that makes it like about 28 volts, 29 volts. So they just, you know, put them in parallel, and every 4 of them are stacked in series. So you get a whole battery pack in there of 28 of these, you know, cells. Just have a look on the internet. I'll make a picture while I'm reworking the video, so you can see how they look like. Okay. Now I'll grab the camera and show you. Okay, yeah, maybe just before I grab the camera, let me tell you my experience now. And this is interesting. Keep that in mind, because if you're traveling around like I'm doing, you need to know what is your autonomy. It's absolutely important that you know how far you can go, what's your reach, and also how far you can go if you charge it for example, an hour. When you're going from a flat battery and you charge it for an hour, and then you can actually more or less, like, you know, predict how far you can reach with the scooter, and you can calculate it. And you know what I do here in Thailand, I just take my charger with me and my backpack, and then, you know, I just stop somewhere and I ask these people. You know, in Thailand it's very easy. It's not like in Europe, it's very easy to do so. You know, 99% of the time they all say, "Oh, it's okay, go, please do it." It's just, can I charge it? You know, so I find an outlet, and I stick the battery charger in there, and I charge it while I'm sitting somewhere, or I'm drinking coffee, or I'm taking a break of my little trip. You know, so, and then I can add up the amount of time. I can check how far I can go. So how far can it go? I can get a reach of exactly 20.7 kilometers before it really goes completely flat. So I just keep in mind, like, maybe 21 is the maximum range. I just keep in mind, I'm 67 kilos. That's my weight, my body weight. So with 67 kilos on a flat terrain, because everything is flat here in Thailand, I can get about 20 kilometers out of it. That's it. 20 plus one spare kilometer, I would say. So that's not too bad. At 20 kilometers, you can still go pretty far with it, okay? So I know they claim like if you have a 8.8 25, this goes 20 for me, so not too bad. And what I did, I just did it yesterday. I just wanted to see how far I can reach with it. I got 21 out of it, and then when I was at 21, I got back to my room, plugged it in, and then I charged it for 4 hours. Sorry, for 1 hour, and I got 4.9 kilometers out of it. So 1 hour of charge gives you approximately 5 kilometers. Now I know it charges up and it takes about 5 hours to charge it. That's my experience, okay? So I would say you get like, if it's completely flat, the first hour you can add up about 5 kilometers. The second hour you can maybe add like, let's say 4 kilometers or 4.5, and then 4, and then 3, I would say. So because you know the charging is going to go like going very fast and then go slower. So at the end you actually need more time just to get, you know, less kilometers. So, but that's good, you know, 20 kilometers. You know, I've done the trip the other day. I was driving like 15 kilometers and I was going to a market, and I went to a small, you know, stall next to the market. I asked them, can I plug it in? You know, I'll buy a beer from you. I'll buy an iced tea from you when I'm here, and when I'm come back, I buy another iced tea. I give them like 5 baht, and yeah, you know, I was there for maybe 2 hours, so I know I could go another 10 kilometers. So it was more than enough to do the trip. You know, I had a trip of 30, maybe 35 kilometers. So that's cool. That's how it worked. So that's the distance I can reach with this one. About the one in Belgium, I had 17, 18 kilometers, so a little less, but the terrain is different. So I get more like, you know, hills and you know, little road that goes up steep and then go down. So it all depends on the terrain as well. So if you're in a flat area, 20 kilometers. If you're in a hilly area, I would say, let's say like 17, 18, 19. So depending how many hills you actually are gonna drive up. So that's it. Now let me just grab the camera and show you what I've done. Show you also the amount that I have on my odometer. So I hope it's gonna be well visible. So I have bought myself a locker so I can lock the device from the back wheel. So I just stick it in here and lock it somewhere, so I can just, you know, leave it somewhere and go for a walk. And I've also added a little, you know, GPS holder. It's very convenient for me. I can just stick in my GPS in there just like that. And yeah, I need to turn around my GPS, but that's it. So you understand how it works, and then you can stick it in there, and there's a supplemental security over here that you need to, you know, oh come on, I'm gonna try to do it. I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to do it. No, I'm not gonna be able to do it, but actually you can, you know, protect your scooter, or I mean the holder, so it doesn't fall off. I had to move this little, you know, steer bar just a little bit more to the left so I could mount this one on top of it. And let me just show you how many kilometers I have at the moment. So there you are. I've got 277 kilometers already. So I'm currently in Nakhon Ratchasima, so in Korat. So I virtually have driven down from, you know, Korat to Bangkok. So it's not too bad. You know, it's very convenient. You know. 8 kilo or 7 kilo, walk around with it, go around with it, take the metro, take the bus, and, you know, just drive. I went to do a couple of day trips, and while I was doing the day trips, I just took the bus, and then, you know, you just you know, open it up and you're good to go. So that's really cool. So So I don't know if you still have questions, you guys. I might get some people maybe asking questions about how to repair these devices. And I don't know right now, but I guess you can get spare parts very easily from AliExpress if you contact one of or the supplier on which you bought it. I'm pretty sure they are very willing to send you the spare parts. Regarding the battery, I found out that the number of charging cycles is approximately 500. So considering 500 means that before the battery is going to die, you should be able to drive about 10,000 kilometers. So that's not too bad. I was checking also about the battery, just to come back on that one as well. So you could maybe buy the battery pack back, from the supplier, but I guess you can also just, solder yourself and replace a battery pack yourself. It's possible, but you need to be a little bit handy. So I don't think everybody will be able to do that. So it's something that needs to be figured out. So, okay, that's the story about the carbon fiber scooter version number 1 comparing to version number 2. I think maybe also about version number 2, maybe the wheels are a little better. I don't know if they have done any upgrades on the front wheel. I will ask the question to my supplier. Where I bought my scooter, so I'll ask them. And luckily the connector inside from the wheel, because actually this is the wheel here, there is a cable that is on the, I think it's on the left side. It goes up here, as you can see here, goes inside, goes all the way up. And there's a connector that goes to a print, because over here inside there is some kind of a print here, or another section that is the same size as the battery section. So some electronics, a little bit more electronics here on the top, and then you get all the cables and the connectors, and that's it. So, okay, if you want to know a little bit more about it, let me know. Just write it in the comments section. I will try to answer as many questions as I can, unless the questions that you are asking have been answered already in this video or previous videos. So that's it. Thanks for watching, and I hope this is very informative for you. And I still recommend everybody, if you want to have a very easy way to travel, I certainly recommend the scooter. Just one more thing. The reason why I bought the scooter back in Belgium, and this is, okay, let me just put the camera down. The reason why I bought the scooter back in Belgium is going to be very simple to explain. It becomes more and more difficult to park your car inside the cities. It becomes very expensive, and they try to ban cars in a lot of cities back down in Belgium. So for me, having this last mile option with this fella is pretty interesting, because you can actually, take it in with your car and, start to drive to the city center. Yeah, now that I'm thinking, because I'm gonna take the opportunity to tell you everything about this scooter as well. Some people ask me also about driving in the rain. I don't recommend driving this scooter when it's raining, when it's wet. And the very simple reason is that it becomes very slippery. So if you are driving on a normal paved road, it's going to be okay. But if you are driving on a pedestrian road and you've got these stones, it becomes pretty slippery. So I don't really recommend it. I also don't recommend to drive it on a paved road. I mean paved like, stones. So if you just have a normal road like what you see over here right next to me, that's okay. So this kind of road is okay. But so this would be still okay. So let me just show to you. So this is still okay, because maybe I would probably jump here, over here, and this is gonna be still okay. So, but they don't have a lot of stone paved roads here in Thailand, so I cannot show you in, you know, how these stone paved roads they look like. Yeah, so that's also something I wanted to point out, is how it behaves and which roads you can accept, what is acceptable and what is not acceptable. So okay, I think I've said more or less everything. I tried to think if I have forgotten something. Let me think. I still have forgotten something. Maybe I should do it in the next video. So keep tuned on my channel. And if you want to know more, just write more or write your questions. Bye. I forgot something. I forgot something that is pretty interesting. Let me show it to you. I need to move my camera. So where could I put my camera? Let me just check. I'm gonna try to do it over there. So I'll put the camera over there. Now let me just show you something that is pretty neat, pretty interesting, and gives you a rough idea what you can do with. Let me just put the camera over here. What you can do. It's a suggestion. Okay, it's just a suggestion. I'm gonna take off my smartphone, and I'm gonna take my backpack. Okay, I've done something with my backpack. I've done something with my backpack because it makes it more convenient for me. When you fold this scooter, okay, this is how you can, you know, carry it along. So I'm going to take this one off, because normally I take this one off for this purpose. Okay, let me just throw it here, it's okay. But what you can do is you can actually put some straps on your backpack here, and this is what I do. I've got some straps on here, and what it does is I put it around. Okay, there you go. Now, could put some straps. I haven't really done something with it. You can just walk like this, you know. So you don't have to carry. You don't have to carry the scooter around. So you can just, you know, walk. Now I should carry my backpack a little lower, so it's a little bit more separated, and then you can just walk like this. So it's a very convenient way to avoid to carry the scooter around. So so you don't have to carry these 7 kilos, or you don't have to have the scooter next to you all the time. So that's a very convenient little, you know, little recommendation if you have one of these scooters. Okay, so that's another thing I wanted to point out. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please give me a thumbs up, guys, because I want to be motivated to make more of these videos. So just thumbs up. See you.